All right. This lesson is going to go over Chapter 6 review. I call these the common core problems. What we did in the previous class is we went over, regular problems. I think I ended the video or the end of the class saying, these are the basic problems that you need to know, blah, 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 blah. Now these are more complicated. The nice thing about these is these are all going to be multiple choice. So at the very least, we can all take a guess. And whether we're right or wrong, we'll find out. We shall see. Let's start out by doing this one. Our friend Amelia builds and sells birdhouses. The difference between the amount she sells each birdhouse for and the cost of supplies to build each birdhouse is $20. Amelia also spends $45 on tools to build birdhouses. So even this problem is worded terribly. This one, the amount she sells and the amount she gets is 20. That means she makes $20 per birdhouse, right? So let's write that down. She makes $20 per house, we'll say, per house, or B for birdhouse. So we'll put, they want to use B for birdhouse, it looks like. Do they say that? 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 The difference between birdhouses for your copy of each. Yep, B birdhouses. So we're going to say she makes $20 per B. And she already is down $45. In the chat, I want you to look at the four options that you have. I want you to pick the option that says the money she makes is... She makes $20 per birdhouse, but she's down or she's lost $45 already. I want you to type just the letter in the chat and don't hit send yet. Type just the letter in the chat for the one that says the money is $20 per birdhouse, but we lose $45. And on 3, I'm going to ask you to hit send. 1, 2, 3. So some of you have the right idea, but the money she makes is equal to $20 per birdhouse, see? And she loses 45. So those of you who said A, I'm glad your brain was there, but you just had your letters backwards. So the answer here is C. The other ones just don't even make sense. Let's remember linear versus not linear. Linear is y equals something with an x. Non-linear is going to be y equals something with an x squared or an x to the third or the square root of x, or x is on the bottom of a fraction or something like that. This is our first poll. Are you ready? I want you to look at the four options and tell me which of those is nonlinear in the poll that you're getting now. You should get a poll on your screen. I want you to answer which of these is nonlinear. Start putting your answers in. I'll give you about 30 seconds. Get my timer. So a few of you said, most of you said A, and that is the correct answer. What makes A nonlinear is that x squared guy right there. That's what makes it screw up. Some of you, I think, selected C because you saw, or D because you saw the fraction. That's okay. I only care about having an x, and I only care about, that's it, just an x. That's just an x. That's just an x. That's just an x. That x squared ruins everything, and that's why A is nonlinear. All right. A set of ordered pairs pairs below represent a relation. Which statement about the relation is true? Okay, well, A, this relation is a function. No, it's not. And here's why. X is used twice for 1. Okay, so let's go through our options. It's not a function because x is used twice for problem 1. The function is not a function, true, but removing 1/3, okay, removing 1/3 and replacing it with 2/6 would make it a function. All right, let's do that. 2/6. So let's see what I have. No, that doesn't work either because now 2 is used twice. The relation is not a function, but removing 1/4 and replacing it with 4/1 makes the new relation a function. So let's remove 1/4 and replace it with 4/1. All right. Does 0 repeat as an x? No. Does 1 repeat as an x? No. Does 2 repeat as an x? No. Does 3 repeat as an x? No. Does 4 repeat as an x? No. It is a function now. Hooray. The answer is C. A tank is drained at a rate of 5 gallons per minute. Which graph represents the number of gallons of water? After it begins to drain. Well, if it starts with 90, it's going to start up here at 90, and all of these start at 90. If it's draining at 5 gallons per minute, that's a constant rate, right? And remember, constant rates are straight lines, so it can't be U and it can't be U. I need the one that's draining at 5 gallons per minute. Okay, did I cross out the wrong one? I did. I did cross out the one. 5 gallons per minute. All right, so let's find the slope. Let's put a dot there, and let's put a dot there. I need a slope. Remember, rate and slope are the same thing. Rate and slope are the same thing. So I need a slope of -5 because we're losing 5 gallons per minute. Every time I go up or down a block, I'm not going up 1. I'm going up 10. So this goes down 1, 2, 3, which means 10, 20, 30. So the slope for that guy so far is -30 over. And every time I go over 1, I'm actually going over 2 because of this graph. So I'm going over 2. -30 over 2 is -15, not 5. So it's got to be B. Let's make sure. I could put a dot here and a dot right there next to it. I go down 10, over 2, which equals -5. And that's the one that I want. It's the one that I want. Tricky. Tricky. These ones are tough, difficult, very difficult. All right, so stay with me on this one. 2 linear functions are represented by the table and the equation shown below. So here's function 1, which is a table, and here's function 2, which is an equation. Which statement comparing the y-intercepts of the functions is true? Okay, so let's just, first off, function 2 is y equals 7x, and they care about the y-intercept. So the y-intercept for function 2 is 0. Function 1 function 1, I have to find out. So I'm going to go to my little website where I use the NCTM thingamathing. And we're experiencing an issue that prevents us from shipping orders. I don't care about shipping orders. NCTM line of best fit. I'm going to type in those dots. I'm going to type in -2, 0, 0, 2, 0. I'm going to type in 1, 1, 4, 2, and 7, 3. I'm going to scroll up and click on the line of best fit, and this is what I get. Okay, I get y equals, I did it right. Y equals 0.33x plus 0.67. All right, so the y-intercept in function 1 is greater than the y-intercept of function 2 by more than 1 unit. That's not true. The y-intercept of function 1 is greater than the y-intercept of function 2 by less than 1 unit. That is true. These are very difficult problems. Will you see a problem like this on the test? No. But if it kind of makes sense, and if you think you can do it, then you're in great shape. Tricky problem. Tricky problem. Very tricky problem. Very tricky problem. Sonia opened a savings account and then added the same amount of savings every time in the week. After 5 weeks, her savings account had a total of $45. After 10 weeks, her savings account had a total of $7. Which equation represented the amount of money in dollars after X weeks? Let's make a chart. X is weeks. So after 5 weeks, she had a total of $45. After 10 weeks, she had a total of $70. So let's go back to our website. What I'm going to do is, I have 5, 45, 10, 70, I'm going to click on show the line of best fit. That's the guy that shows up. Another tricky one. All of these are pretty tricky. But if you're looking at these and saying, I get it, you're in great shape. You're in great shape. Marcy drives from Swan Valley to Eagle Grove. She drives a constant rate and then stops for lunch. After lunch, she drives at the same rate she drove before until she reaches Eagle Grove. Which one of these could be used to represent Marcy's drive? She's driving at a constant rate, she stops for lunch, and she's driving at the same speed. So they're giving you distance and time. I want to see your opinion. I'm going to give you another poll. And I want you to take what you think the answer is. And in 1 minute, the poll will be ready for you. And I want you to put your answer in the poll. Put your answer in the poll. Give you 30 seconds to write your answer in the poll, what you think it is. She drives at a constant rate. She stops for a little while to eat something, and then she drives again at the same speed. Twenty more seconds, because some people are still answering. She drives at a constant rate, stops for lunch, and then drives further away. Put it in the poll. Don't give me the letter. Put it in the poll. So we got the most common one was A and D. A and D are very similar. A, she drives at a constant speed, stops for lunch, and drives at the same constant speed. D is she drives at a constant speed, stops for lunch, and then drives slower than what she did before. So although A and D are very, very, very similar, A ultimately is going to be the answer. Okay. Okay. The manager of a small chain of restaurants compared the sales at different restaurant locations. She drew a graph comparing the daily sales in dollars to the number of competing restaurants in the neighborhood. Based on your graph, how much do the daily sales change with each additional competitor in the neighborhood? So we need a slope, because if we're going to talk about rate, we need a slope. So let's put a dot there and let's put a dot there. It looks like every time we go up or down, it goes by 200. So if we go down one, that's down negative 200. Every time we move over by one. So down one is down 200 over two, which simplifies to negative 100. So our slope is negative 100. I want you to type out in the chat without hitting send yet. Type out in the chat what negative 100 means in words. What negative 100 means in words. Just a letter answer. Look at your answers. It's either going to be A, B, C, or D. So according to this problem, what does negative 100 mean? Type out A, B, C, or D, and once you hear the timer go off, hit send. Send me your answers. So everybody be saying B, and it is B. Negative slope. Thanks, Josh. Negative slope means you're losing something. How much are we losing? $100 per week. Okay, good. Huh. So we need to figure out which one's a function. Anything that's, I never told you this before, but anything that's y equals, like this guy right here. And again, if you're having a hard time seeing, make sure you click on my face and blow it up, hit the pin button. Anything that's y equals is a function. In a function, the x's can't repeat. So that's 1, 3. I'm not going to bother. 1, 3, 5, and 7. The x's don't repeat, so that one is a function. Now, our job is to find the one that's not the function. Our job is to find the one that is not the function, which means one of those two is not the function. And if you don't remember how to do not the function, here's a vertical line and go, or take your pencil and go to your screen and go, doot, 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 and see if any fails. The ones that fail, those are the ones that are going to be our answer. So go doot, 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 and find out the one that goes crazy. The one that goes crazy is, hold on, going to be our answer. So that's what I want you to answer here in this poll. I'm going to give you 30 seconds or 20 seconds. Within those 20 seconds, I want you to tell me which one would go do 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 crazy. Which one of these would go do 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 crazy? Do 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 do. That seemed to be fine. Let me straighten that out a bit. Do 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 do. So this one's not the function. The one that's not the function is D. The question is which relation is not a function? That is the one that's not the function. So I think some of you probably said C because that is a function. We're doing the opposite here. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Which statement best describes what's going on? It's talking about functions and straight lines. Okay, well, first off, let's see and make sure that this is a function. Doot, 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 doot. Yep, it's a function. So this one is a function. Yes. So this one that says it's not a function doesn't even count. It does not represent a function because it's not a straight line, but it is a function. Okay. It does represent a function because it passes through both the x-axis and the y-axis. No. It does represent a function because each x value is paired with exactly one y value. That's what the vertical line test means. That's what we learned at the beginning of class in this chapter. So vertical line test means that there's only one x for every y, baby. How many more do we have? Quite a few. All right, let's see if we can get through. Luis is building a new deck and needs to have a slab of concrete poured. He knows that the contractor charges $75 plus $250 per square foot. Which equation can be used to determine the cost Y in dollars if you pour concrete? Okay, so he charges $75 plus an additional $250 per X square feet. So if he charges us $75 straight up, that's the only one that it can be. And then since we add 2.5, which is 250 per X, that's it right there too. No strings attached. In sync. An online video service offers two price options. The price option for A is given by y equals 2x plus 10. There's B. So I need to find B. How do I find B? Well, I'll do slope-intercept form, which looks like this. So I'll put a dot here and a dot here. And every time I go up 1, I go over 2. So my slope is a half. X is X. And my y-intercept was that 5 right there. If you're like, I don't remember doing that, we did this like 1,000 times. Both options include an initial charge and a charge per video watch. Which statement is true? Option A has a higher initial charge. So the initial charge is the number that sits alone. So initial charge is that guy right there. Initial. Bling. Class is over in 8 minutes. That is how much I charge per video or whatever it is, per game. Option A has a higher charge, which is true, per video watched. Well, and a higher charge per video watched. That's true. Everything's higher for A. That was easy. Carla graphs a function that is nonlinear. Which graph could represent? I'm sorry, she graphs a function. One of these is going to pass this thing. So I would have to go boop, boop, boop through all of those, and I need to figure out which one of those passes. So take a look, and then you can vote. Vote before the end of the timer, please. Which one of these passes the vertical line test? Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Nope, not you, because vertical lines don't pass vertical line tests. So let's cross you out. Beep, 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 beep. You, because you, horseshoe in. I keep doing it. Beep, 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 beep. Now, why isn't it freaking? Hold on, let me hit the mute button. Why isn't it freaking out? Oh, I know why. This circle's not filled in. Unmute. Beep, beep, beep. There's our function. There it is. Hooray. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep.